2015, Sonos introduced TruePlay, a feature that aims to provide the best possible sound by measuring the acoustics of your room and calibrating the playback accordingly. It's fairly simple. Using the microphone on your phone, the Sonos controller app makes measurements and changes the sound, meaning no matter where you put your speakers, it can adjust them to sound great. At least that's the goal. As soon as Sonos had launched TruePlay, it had its sights set on bringing it to its home theater systems, but that's a little bit more complicated. For one thing, living rooms aren't always or even usually set up for perfect sound. That means Sonos had to factor in spatial correction, adjusting exactly when sound arrives at your ears, as well as the spectral correction, basically EQ adjustment, that it was already using. All of the company's speakers can now be used with TruePlay, and for the most part, the setup process remains how it was at the beginning. The main difference is if you're using it in a home theater setup. And that was the case for our testing, using a Sonos Playbar, sub, and two Play 1 speakers, which together make up a full 5.1 channel setup. Before you get started, you want to make sure you've actually set up your speakers first using the Sonos controller app. Then go into room settings and turn TruePlay on to start the setup process. You want to make sure it's fairly quiet when doing this. First, you'll be asked to sit where you normally would while watching TV. Hold your phone at eye level, and the speakers will play various sounds for around 30 seconds to measure your system. Once the measurement is complete, the Sonos controller app will take a moment to adjust your settings. Then you'll be ready for the second part of the setup process, which is the same as the original setup. You'll still want to make sure it's quiet, but this time instead of staying still, the app will ask you to move throughout your room, waving your phone up and down as you slowly cover the room. As the sample video Sonos helpfully includes in the app shows, it's a fairly simple process. That said, it can be a little finicky about how you move, specifically how much you move. If you don't move your phone up or down, the process will come to a halt and the app will ask you to start over. This will also happen if you're not moving around the room enough. Once you've gone through both steps, setup is complete and you're ready to start using TruePlay. If you've done everything right, you should notice a difference right away. If not, you can always redo the process by using the retune option in settings. Fortunately, using TruePlay doesn't lock you out of making any adjustments. Bass and treble, for example, can be adjusted in the Sonos controller app without fear of interfering with TruePlay at all. So just how much of a difference does it make? That's probably going to depend on the speakers you're using as well as the general setup of your room. In our case, the difference was definitely noticeable. Spatial cues were more pronounced and more like a dedicated surround system than a soundbar. We initially wondered just how much TruePlay could do for the low end, since measuring a subwoofer with the mic built into your iPhone is a formidable task. Surprisingly enough, there was a definite improvement here with a noticeably tighter feel to the low end. With any speaker system, you're going to have a sweet spot where everything sounds at its best, and that's still true here, but using TruePlay, this area seemed to expand, and this was true for both music and movies. We did occasionally notice there was a little bit more treble with TruePlay turned on than when it was turned off. In our case, that wasn't a huge deal, but if it's a problem for you, it's nice to know that you can tame this in the app settings if you want or need to. Overall, if you already have a few Sonos speakers set up in the same room, there's absolutely no reason not to at least try TruePlay. Is it mind-blowing enough that you should go out and buy a Sonos system right now? Probably not. But if you're thinking about buying a few Sonos speakers or adding to your existing setup, the new and improved TruePlay is definitely a point in their favor.